This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. It's 12/11/23, show number 550. Well, options X, quad witch, right, Nick?
Yes, Kerry, it's quad witch. This is the end of the quarter. It's the end of year, too. So traders should be aware of that. That's going to be Friday, December 15th. But this is a week of institutional game playing. In fact, I even saw it start last Wednesday. So you want to watch for wild, ridiculous news, lots of ridiculous upgrades and downgrades, and lots of rumors. Let the games begin. Markets will be all over the map. I just want to point something out too, Kerry. Traders right now should watch for stocks that have been very, very strong. They're going to be susceptible to pullbacks, and stocks that have been beaten to the ground probably likely get bids this week. That's just the way it normally works. So just be aware of that. This is definitely the week of institutional game playing.
Yeah, well, we've seen this a few times before in the past, right?
We have seen it many, many times. And to my surprise, as much as we've talked about it and we've seen it and pointed out so many different examples, I never see this on the financial media, ever.
Yeah.
Never see it. I've never seen it once. In the 30 years I've been in this business, I've never seen it one time.
Yeah, well, they're the mouthpiece of Wall Street. They're not going to bite the hand that feeds them, right?
You got that right, Kerry.
Hey, so what about the mega caps? Apple, et cetera. They're kind of pulling back a bit.
Yeah, they're selling off pretty sharply today. You have Apple down nearly 2%, Google down nearly 2%. You have Microsoft down 1.5%, NVIDIA down 2.5%, Amazon down over 2%. This is a perfect example. Meta down over 3%. This is a perfect example of what I was just saying. Stocks that are in the stratosphere will have big, sharp pullbacks during options X. And think about it. Everybody was betting on all of these stocks last week. I bet you they were all buying call options, saying the Magnificent Seven can never go down. And here we are this week. You're seeing the Magnificent Seven down across the board pretty much.
All right. So what about this thing with Cigna here? What's going on with Cigna?
Well, it's so funny because Cigna was going to buy Yamana. That was, in the works for a long time. And then the stock is just plunging. It goes from 320, which was made in the beginning of November, all the way down to 255 on Friday, this past Friday. And then today we wake up and the news is out. Cigna is no longer buying Yamana. They're going to do a huge $10 billion share buyback, and the stock goes from 255 to 302, 301, where it's trading right now. So again, big 16, 17% jump. And this happens right as we start options X. So this is a perfect example of what happens during options X. It's a week of institutional game playing. Just think about it. Cigna made a new 6-month low on Friday, and today the stock is reversing by 17%. This is why I tell you, this is the real shark week out here. So think about it. A lot of traders probably were put options on last week thinking Cigna is going to break down, maybe go test the 240 low or even go down to 220. And here today, we're seeing Cigna above $300.
Funny how that works, huh?
It's incredible. It's incredible. It never ceases to amaze me. At all the years I've been doing, I look for this stuff, and I just got to shake my head sometimes and say, wow, it's so, they're so good at it too, because I wouldn't even have recognized Cigna to be a buy on Friday at all. So it's just purely options X. And again, all planned, and they do this stuff right during options X. And be careful, because you'll get government news too that could be off the wall as well this week. We've seen that happen before too, Kerry.
Yeah. It just amazes me how it just goes on, and everyone's oblivious to it, Nick.
Well, the market has an old saying in the market, has a way of fooling most of the people most of the time. And it fools me still to this day sometimes. So, you have to go in this business with a humble heart. It's not easy.
Speaking of getting fooled, so Natgas, it's getting slammed. I guess the weather is good out there.
Well, I think it's more than the weather, but Natgas is getting absolutely annihilated today, trading down by about 9%. And again, about 3 weeks ago, I had moved out of my Natgas play. We had made some pretty good money on several occasions. I had a huge gain in there. I did not take it, and I told my members, hey, we're going to move our stop to break even on Natgas. And when we got out, we got stopped out. I said, we'll buy it lower, but let the chart pattern set up. And Kerry, the chart gave us 3 back-to-back bearish signals. And I said, we can't get back in this thing. There's something big, something going on here. This is not giving us the proper chart pattern to get back in. And now today it's down by 10%. So all in all, Natgas very, very much under pressure. I think a lot of today's action is obviously Options X, because so many people thought they were buying it on the cheap last week. I stayed away from it just because of Options X. And sure enough, it's lower now. But we'll see where the dust settles by the end of the week. But I probably am going to get interested in this one again early next week.
Wow. Just yet another one. And you think it's poised, how much lower can it go? And then you find out it can go a lot lower, right?
Yes. Never. I always tell my members, I say, don't look too far out into the future. Just let these, shorter term patterns dictate where price is going to move. Sometimes things can go lower than you expect. Sometimes things can go a lot higher than you expect. And then when I get to a week where it's a quad witching Options X, you always pull back the reins a little bit and you let the dust settle and you let the market tell you what to do.
Yeah. Never doubt the market, right?
Never.
All right. So let's see. What else do we have to opine? Gold is getting killed today, too.
Yeah, gold is down by 1% as well. And, Kerry, we talk about this all the time when we go into a quad witch, even a regular monthly expiration. We always are aware that gold can go lower. Today, gold is getting hit pretty hard. You have gold futures now trading back below that psychological 2,000 level. You have the GLD trading down by more than $2. So precious metals under pressure. Gold had that big reversal, if you recall. We talked about it on that Monday, which was December 4th, which really was a bull trap. It looked like a breakout. They had everybody fooled and convinced. But this is why you have to understand the chart patterns. I told my membership group the same thing. I said, listen, gold looks like it wants to break out. Everybody's getting bullish gold, but let the breakout confirm itself, meaning you need to get a close. And we wouldn't have known if gold broke out or not until the end of December. And again, you could see the reversal took place right there on the 4th of December to the downside after tagging 2150. And now here we are back below 2000.
Yeah, but the fact that it stayed so long over 2000, it was still a false breakout, huh?
Yes, it was. And this is, the reason I didn't get caught up or trapped in it was simply because I'm reading the charts. And a lot of times traders just do not want to look at other charts. They want to be fixated on one time frame. You've got to look at the big picture. I always, my wife comes in my office sometimes and she says to me, she goes, what are you looking at on the screen? It looks like just chaos. And I tell her sometimes, well, it looks like chaos to you, looks like a Picasso to me. Because I'm looking at these big grand time frames and they keep you out of trouble.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And it just does it. Just does it. So, all right. So gold, Bitcoin's also getting slammed.
Yeah, Bitcoin's getting hit today as well, and it's getting hit pretty hard as we speak. I'm looking at the Bitcoin futures chart. You're down over 5%. Remember, this has had a huge run up. It's into a 50% retrace from the November 2021 top, which was around 69,000 plus. And then you went all the way down to the lows, which was, again, it looks like in November of 2022. And now we just went into a 50% retrace. We're into big resistance. The chart has gotten a little bit away from itself, and everybody's still betting and waiting on this spot Bitcoin ETF news that has not come out yet. So again, nothing
So is that
terrible.
A fake?
Well, there's nothing terrible here, but what I would say is that, Bitcoin's probably going to be very choppy going in, but I think the upside is now limited here until this ETF approval occurs. And we don't know if this is going to occur. Remember, the courts kicked it back to the SEC. The SEC, if you ask me, has not been a big fan of crypto. I know everybody thinks that this is a lock to get approved because you have guys on TV like Michael Saylor and all these other people, and BlackRock has applied for it. But it's not a given that this thing gets an approval. So again, we'll have to wait and see. If it does get approved, I do think it has a short-term pop in it, but I'm not sure it's going to go much further.
All right. Well, nothing is ever for certain, right? Isn't that a Wall Street maxim? You think
that is a Wall Street maxim.
Yeah, you think it's going to be, but it can always disappoint to the downside, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, too, a lot of times the news gets baked into the cake ahead of the actual event, right? So very, very often you'll see these run-ups occur, and, the run-ups are occurring in anticipation, hence the old saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. So that's also a possibility here.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for today. You should go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com, see how he's beaten the averages for decades. The Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Emails are welcome, KL@KerryLutz.com. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Nick, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Sounds good, Kerry.